I like coming in, like, I like letting the thing sit for like 3 minutes and I come in and there's like so many conversations coming on and I feel like I'm interrupting everybody. It's a good feeling. It's a good feeling. It's power. It's a little bit of power. I don't know. I don't know if you feel like, hey, look at me. I'm a corporate shill. I've been dressed into a corporate shill. I am apparently, I'm a, I don't know. I should probably have changed my shirt. I feel like a corporate shill. Thank you to Derek Anderson for the hat, for the new hat. He's like, you shouldn't be wearing a beanie during the hot days of summer. I go, I'm like, I don't have another hat. He goes, I sent you a new hat. I'm like, all right, Derek, let's go. Let's look at this hat. It fits well. It's nice. I haven't had to change it or anything. Well, Shine, I wouldn't call myself clean necessarily. Maybe like shaved. No, I might have missed the spot too. I did it like without looking in the mirror. It was more just like where I thought hair was. That's where I shave. You know what I mean? Like how you do it when you're like you're in a car without. See, I might have missed a spot or two. You know, like I don't know. It's like a personal challenge for me. Mostly, and the other thing was like I didn't know if my battery's gonna fall out of the. Anyhow, welcome to the show, everybody. Welcome to the show, everyone. Let me pour this into a glass here real quick. If we remember, thank you again to Niffer Mama for this beautiful. We won't be doing this. We'll be doing it more. We got to do this. I don't. Let me pour this into. There we go. All right, we poured it into the. One of my I got to tell you, one of my favorite genres of jokes are sight gags. Like if you can do a good sight gag, like I'm down. I like sight gags. I really, cause like it's you got to see the world in a different way. And if you can see a world in a different way and be able to present it in a sight gaggy kind of way, I'm down. You know, so this is my sight. This is the one sight gag I can do. And so I gotta tell you, Niffer, I'm happy. Every time I can do this and everyone's like, I put it in, I poured it. It's a good sight gag for me. So, we're gonna have a big day today. Let me read you some poetry, and if you can tell me who wrote this, I'll read your cards, and then also, hold. I'll give it a minute and whatever. But like a little poetry here, okay? And let me. We'll do this. It's beautiful poetry. A little poetry here. And I'll read your cards. We'll do the pot tarot deck. And then we'll read your cards. And then we'll get into the book. We're gonna have a big book day. We're gonna become a little smarter today, hopefully. I don't know. I'm gonna heckle a book today. So we're gonna heckle a book today. We'll take some pauses in between, drink some Mountain Dew. And shoot the breeze a little bit. Herbie will be in and out because he's got busy time, so won't have as much of a moderated show today. So all you keyboard goblins, here we go. All right. If you guess the poem or the writer of the poem, then I'll read your cards. Okay. Here we go. Are we ready? Anyone can do. I don't even care who it is. All right. I don't even care. Like whatever. Here we go. I don't even. That's rude. I don't even care. As I look up at the sky, my mind starts tripping. A tear drops my eye. My body temperature falls. I'm shaking and they breaking, trying to save the dog. Pumping on my chest and I'm screaming. I stop breathing. Damn, I see demons. Dear God, I wonder, can you save me? Hey, Shine, you got it. I can't die. My boo-boo's about to have my baby. I think it's too late for praying. Hold up. A voice spoke to me and it slowly started saying, bring your lifestyle to me, I'll make it better. How long will I live? Eternal life and forever. Oh, will I be the G that I was? I'll make your life better than you can imagine or even dreamed of. So relax your soul, let me take control. Close your eyes, my son. My eyes are closed. Nice job, Shine. That was Snoop Dogg. I got in trouble for listening to that when I was a kid. There's a meme running around, wherever you're gonna find them. It's like, my mom called me to say I really love Snoop Dogg. And then I'm like, yeah, I used to get in trouble for listening to his music from you. I love Snoop Dogg. How about these Olympics, huh? How about these Olympics? Surfing finals are happening finally tonight, this afternoon, so that'll be fun. Half hour just like staring at the ocean, hoping it becomes a wave. Honestly, I don't know why I like surfing. I don't know if you like surfing or not, but I like surfing, and so men's and women's semifinal finals are happening today, so that'll be a lot of fun for me to watch. Simone Biles apparently is doing her floor routine like as we speak, or maybe just did it. I'm not sure. Shine, here we go. Shine. I should have been shuffling these cards while dithering about with my ideas and whatnots. But we've got Flava Flav coming out, sponsoring the water polo team. And then apparently, did Flava Flav save Red Lobster? Like, I know Shaq saved Little Caesars. I think it was Little Caesars. But is that what it is? Because it seems like Red Lobster's really really coming out with like hardcore with like Flava Flav, boy, and it was like I love it. I love Flava. Who doesn't love Flava Flav? I got in trouble listening to Handsome as a Cow. You know what I mean? Sean, we're gonna shuffle these. We're gonna cut these a few more times. Good morning, good morning. Morning, Cleany. Morning, Deborah. Good morning, Niffer. What happened to me? I don't know, man. What happened to you? Did we switch it up? No, I get Mondays, actually. I get Mondays. Mostly just to start the week. Gives Pops a chance to chill out. I kind of do a different style of show, too. I don't really give too many things away. I'm more kind of like a jokey. I don't really take too many things serious. Pops is a little more energetic towards, like shares a little more of the Instagram-y. I don't know. I just kind of like hanging out with people. So it's not really switching it up. It's more like just different. So I also do like pot tarot cards, so that's kind of fun. Thank you to CCS for the pot tarot cards. I used to do a lot of dabs. That was a thing. I have a cup from Niffer Mama. I used to do that, but that got too popular. So I don't know. We just do different things. Okay, here we go, Shine. I'm like the Conan O'Brien of not Conan O'Brien. Shine, what pile would you like, my guy? Would you like 1, 2, or 3? And I got a spiel to go for you. We'll do these cards, and we're just gonna jump into the book. We're gonna learn. I'm gonna heckle the book, and we're gonna have a lot of fun. So, which one would you like? Good morning to Nerd Nature. Good morning to Mike Buraball. Thank you, Shine, 2. Everybody picks 2, Shine. Way to go along with the group. You know what you are, Shine? You're a part of the group. Nice. Thanks for being here. You thought I was going to be rude, didn't you? I'm not going to be rude. You know what I am going to be? I'm going to be the guy that says this. Shine, I do a 3-card reading. It's called a then, now, and later reading. It's more like a where you been, where you at, and how we're going to deal with it. But we're going to stay positive, Shine. We're going to, so it's kind of like, what are the cards talking to you about? Whatever you want to talk to. I don't care what you want to talk to the cards about. I don't care. I hate it when the reader is like, whatever you want the cards to talk to you about, you ask a question and we'll answer it. Did Dad answer your question about your dead aunt? Like, I'm always asking questions about my dead aunt. I don't even know if I have a dead aunt. Oh, I have an amazing aunt. I have a lot of aunts. I don't even need them. How rude. Right? Stop asking me questions, reader. You're the one with the cards. What are the cards telling me? Different shows. So here we go, Shine. Let's see. Where you been? And because we're going to stay positive, and I have no idea what the cards look like unless they're, like, from the pictures, whether it's like a 4 of buds or a pentacles, or we don't even have pentacles. Like, we can't even look this stuff up. We're just making all of this up as we go. Alright, Shine? So where you been? King of Joints. You've been hanging out with the big dogs. I get it. No, you ain't lying to kick it at all. No, you're real. Oh yeah, this is what we do. We smoke. We get high. I wear it on my skin. You wear yours on your skin. Look at this. That's a crown. Just like front, like right there. Just in your, like, yeah, that's what we do. Like, whatever you do, like, you're good at it, and like, you wear it. If you're good at something, you gotta be willing to, like, wear it, right? You gotta be able to, like, this is a part of me. Okay. Maybe not smoking weed, though. Don't put, like, a tattoo of, like, I don't know, maybe if you grew up in a field of marijuana leaves, then, like, maybe you could have, like, a pot leaf tattoo, right? I don't know. I'm also a guy with, like, I have a clown face tattoo somewhere. And not somewhere, not like it's gonna be like, guess where it is. Weird, right? Different shows, okay? Different shows. Clown face tattoo somewhere. Alright, here we go. Shine, that's where you were, not where I was, okay? This is about you, not me. Okay, Shine? It's about you, not me. Different shows. Here we go. Where are you now? The Queen of Buds. A little reverse, but let's turn this around. The Queen of Buds. Why can't we, Queen of Buds? 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 Right? Why can't we, Queen of Buds? You got the sativa. I've got the... Oh, yeah. Okay, there we go. Here we go. You say tomato. I say tomato. Who could ask for anything more? We're going to do that song, yeah? Yep, there we go. You say tomato. We'll say tomato. Who could ask for anything more? You say tomato. Here we go. Lyrics. Let's get the lyrics. Let's call the whole thing up. No, get that out of there. Here we go. Things have come to a pretty pass. Our romance is growing flat. For you like this and the other while I go for this and that, goodness knows what the end will be. Oh, I don't know where I'm at. It looks as if we two will never be one. Something must be done. You say either, I say either. You say neither, I say neither. Either, either, neither, neither. Let's call the whole thing off. You like potato and I like potato. You like tomato and I like tomato. Potato, potato, tomato, tomato. Let's call the whole thing off. But oh, if we call the whole thing off, then we must part. And oh, if we ever part, then that might break my heart. So if you like pajamas, I like pajamas. Oh, but I'll wear pajamas and give up pajamas. For we know we need each other, so we better call the whole thing off. Let's call the whole thing off. You say laughter and I say laughter. What the hell? You say after and I say never matter. Laughter, regretter, after you leave her, let's go. That's a whole new song. I read that entirely wrong. You like vanilla and I like vanilla. What? Who says vanilla wrong? Who the? Vanilla? Vanilla. Who says vanilla? I would rather you say beaver butt than vanilla. No one says vanilla. You sarsaparilla, I sarsaparilla. Alright, maybe sometimes you say sarsaparilla, but you really mean illa. Alright, vanilla, vanilla, chocolate, strawberry. Let's call the whole thing off. But oh, if we call the whole thing off, then we must part. And oh, if we ever part, then that might break my heart. So if you go for oysters and I go for oysters, I'll order oysters and cancel the oysters. For we know we need each other, so we better call the calling off. Let's call the whole thing off. I say father, you say patter. What the hell? I say oh mother. And you say matter. Oh my god, patter, patter, uncle, auntie. Let's call the whole thing off. There's so much of this damn song about what we have different. What are we doing? Quit bitching about how you say bananas and Havanas. And what are we doing with scallops and lobster? So if I go for scallops and you go for, it all circles in. It all circles in. Sponge! Are we new here? Hold on, shine. Hold on, shine. Sponge, are you new? Are we new? Sponge! Are we new? Do we got a new guy? Sponge? Ah, Sponge, am I glad to see you here? Have I got a treat for you? I need you to go to, and put in, when you go, I need you to go to, and people can tell you, they'll write it in there, I need you to go to thedetroitmushlab.net. And go to where you can get a hold of, send us an email about how to send something to you. You don't gotta pay no postage or nothing. Just go to thedetroitmushlab.net. Boonga, boonga, boonga. Go there. Go figure out how to get a hold of us, Sponge. Let us know you're the newcomer for today. Because I'm gonna send you this. What on earth are we even doing here? What the? Sponge, figure out a place where we need to send this to you. And we'll get that to you. Thanks for showing up. Thanks for being a newcomer. Welcome to having donuts thrown at you. We like newcomers here. If you send us just, you ain't got nothing. Just let us know, hey, I'm Sponge, I showed up, I'm the new guy. Boom. What it even is, I'm not even going to tell you. The weight on this is going to be on the back. I'm not telling anything. I'm not doing, we know it's a big one. 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 Congratulations, Sponge. Thanks for showing up. Thanks for being a newcomer. That's what we do to people that show up and show a little bit of, like, zest for life and don't ask stupid questions. I mean, you can ask stupid questions. I don't know, but, like, you know, what happened to this guy's face? Like, what happened to your life? You know, I gotta do a fix your life? I don't want to do that. So thanks for showing up, Sponge. Shine! You made me sing the tomato song. That's where we're at. That's what happened. That was your fault, by the way. Okay? All of that was your fault. You did that to people. Okay? I didn't want to do the tomato, but there we are. We got tomato. And we're not going to call the whole thing off because that'll break my heart. We got a heart right there. It's all coming together. These cards don't tell the truth at all, do they? Alright, here we go. Let's see what we're going to do about it. Okay? Let's see what we're going to do about it. What is that? That's like a 5 of pipes. Is that right? Is that a 5 of pipes? But they're all floating around. So obviously upside down doesn't really matter. So that's kind of cool. Hold on, Shine. Let's turn this right side up. So we got, because it looks so different than right side down. Alright. What the hell would 5 of pipes mean? Alright, we just dealt with, this is all your fault. Alright, you're trying to show off a little bit. I mean, if you got it, flaunt it, right? Whatever, you're a show off. And then you turn me into a show off. And now we're all showing off. Oh, alright. So if you got it, flaunt it. That's what this is. Alright. Nice job, Shine. If you got it, I obviously have the voice of an angel. So Shine gave me the opportunity to express that voice of an angel to you. And then, because Shine was like, I'm done, I'm not here for me, guy, I'm here for you, and now I'm like, what are you going to do to be able to express yourself, We all have our pipes to smoke, yeah. The hell does 5 of pipes mean? I don't know what it means. Is it 5 of pipes? I hesitate to call this comedy, just for the sake of comedy's sake. But thank you, Herbie. Herbie says this is I hesitate to call this comedy, but we're trying, okay? So I appreciate the nod to my sincere effort, at least. So I'm at least trying. So all right, Shine. I think it's more like, what is it? Reflects it. Like, hey man, we all got our you got like a cool pipe there. You got like a cool little bubbler pipe right there. You got like a one-hitter pipe there. You got like little storyteller pipe. I don't know, grandpa pipe, pop pipe, whatever that pipe right there. Maybe could be like a wooden pipe there. Who knows? We all got our own pipes, right? Flex it. In a world where it's all full of just like being cool, be cool. If you can be cool, be cool. What do you think? All these Olympic athletes are like the coolest in the world. Noah Lyles. I watched Noah Lyles win last night, and I don't know how to read a photograph. But man, he won. And 5 thousandths. How close is 5 thousandths of a second? I don't know. But man, he comes out and he's like, he never once dared to not be himself at all. It was beautiful to watch. Léon Marchand from France, the way that the way that he enters the pool. The other French swimmer, the big guy, he's like 6'6" or something like that. And he's got the attitude, you know, but like it's beautiful that he plays into it, leans into it, you know, lean into it. So if you got the attitude, and you can be as good as you say that you are, show up, be a part of. All right, I can get that. I can get down with that, Shine. I can get down with that. Okay. Let's get into this book. Sponge, remember, hit up thedetroitmushlab.net. And, you know, anyone else, hit that spot up. We got things from a lot of our friends and us that you can get a hold of and enjoy and whatnot. So, okay. We're jumping into the book pretty early because we got big Oh, let me get that out of there. Remember, Sponge. I gotta remember to tell Pops, like, Pops goes, did anybody win? I go, yeah, Sponge won. What? Yeah. Who's Sponge? I don't know. Check your email. Alright, here we go. We're gonna get into Hegel. And the reason why I wanna, like, we're gonna take our time with Hegel is we're gonna get the term, the dialectic. And my mom, God bless her, she went to school, went back to school in her 30s, which means I was in my teens, early teens, when she was learning about this stuff. So she had no one else to talk to about this stuff, except for me. And so now I am poisoned with intrigue towards collegiate and philosophy and stuff. Like, I learned about, like, St. Thomas Aquinas and dumb. I loved philosophy and learning and such from a young age, right? So I know that there are certain terms that are super important. Dialectic is super important. I think we're going to learn about the dialectic process. How we bring one into... We'll figure it out. Before I do this, let's pour me a new... Yeah. Let's finish this up. And then we're going to get into reality. Is a historical process. George Hegel. Alright? We're still figuring out how we learn things. At this time in our philosophical ways, we're still trying to figure out how best to teach, how best to learn, how best to, you know, accept reality for whatever it is. Like, we're still like, we're kind of like figuring our ways, like away from the Bible, away from like the Torah, away from, like, we're kind of like edging out of the religiosity of things at this time. We'll jump right back into it, like, as a country. Like, we'll jump right back into religiosity within the 1900s and such. Like, you'll have your revivals coming in to, you know, clear things out, if you will. But at this point, we're trying to figure out, like, can we do this without a creator? You know, who's the creator? If there is no creator, what creates? You know, or is it just exist? Who knows? So, reality is a historical process. Here we go. Hegel, I hate how I have to, like, prove that I'm reading this book. Hegel was the single most famous philosopher in Germany during the first half of the 19th century. His central idea was that all phenomena, from consciousness to political institutions, are aspects of a single spirit, by which is meant both mind and idea. Over time, spirit recognizes these phenomena are aspects of itself and reintegrates them. This process of reintegration Hegel calls the dialectic, and it is one that we, who are all aspects of spirit, understand as history. Hegel is therefore a monist, for he believes that all things are aspects of a single thing, and an idealist, for he believes that reality is ultimately something that is not material, in this case, spirit. So he's a monist, saying we're all one thing, we're all made out of one, we're all made out of this spirit thing, and this spirit is actually a spirit. Hegel's idea radically altered the philosophical landscape, and to fully grasp its implications, we need to take a look at the background to his thought. Okay? Let's take our time. Book's taking its time, we'll take our time. Yar. History and consciousness. Few philosophers would deny that human beings are, to a great extent, historical. I mean, that we inherit things from the past, change them, and then pass them on to future generations. Language, for example, is something that we learn and change as we use it, and the same is true of science. Scientists start with a body of theory and then go on either to confirm or to disconfirm it. The same is also true of social institutions, such as the family, the state, banks, churches, and so on, most of which are modified forms of earlier practices or institutions. You don't really think about that. Banks are just like a building full of money changers. It's just money changing. Let me get my money. Alright, here's your money. You used to go to Al down on the street. Back in the day, back in the wine instead of actual water day. Human beings, therefore, never begin their existence from scratch, but always within some kind of context. A context that changes, sometimes radically, within a single generation. Some things, however, do not immediately appear to be historical or subject to change. Alright, that's neat. An example of such a thing is consciousness. We know for certain that we are conscious of will change. But what it means to be conscious, what kind of a thing it is to be awake, to be aware, to be capable of thinking and making decisions, is something that we tend to believe has always been the same for everyone. Stoned ape theory, right? You guys know about that. Like, how long has it been that we've actually known that we know what we may or may not know? How long have we... Do dogs know they're alive? Likewise, it seems plausible to claim that the structures of thought are not historical, that the kind of activity that thinking is, and what mental faculty... Here we go, let's start that again. Likewise, it seems plausible to claim that the structures of thought are not historical. That the kind of activity that thinking is, and what memory faculties it relies on, what mental faculties it relies on, memory, perception, understanding, and so on, has always been the same for everyone throughout history. Okay. This was certainly what Hegel's great idealist predecessor, Immanuel Kant, believed, right? We all think because we all can think because we're all, and to understand Hegel, we need to know what he thought about Kant's work. Alright. So we're trying to figure out, let's go back, hold on. Let's go back. History and consciousness. We're looking at the history of things, like language. Language, for example, is something that we learn and change as we use it. Like, obviously, we used to see dirt, words, potato. God damn it, it all comes together, right? Woo! Alright, and the same is true with science. Science starts with body of theory, and then they go on to confirm or disconfirm. It's all historical. It all builds on. So that's what Hegel is starting. He's really starting to tell us, everything is everything. It all builds. It's... Please don't make me do the Lauryn Hill. I don't want to do the everything is everything. I don't want to. I don't want to. I don't want to. Okay? I feel compelled. I'll look at everything is everything. Kant's categories. We'll continue on with the book. We'll see. Well, let's do this next section. And then maybe we'll do, I don't know. Let's do this next section. So Hegel's alright, so here's Kant. It'll tell us what Kant believes and such and how Hegel believes. So he's really doing his best to prove what he thinks is a historical process of things. We learn because we have to learn or something. Who knows? Let's see. For Kant, the basic ways in which thought works and the basic structures of consciousness are a priori. That is, they exist prior to and so are not derived from experience. We know because we can know. This means that they are independent not only of what we are thinking about or are conscious of, but are independent of any historical influence or development. Wow, that just brought in a whole crazy thought bubble in my... Okay, this means that the idea of consciousness is independent of what we think of and whether or not we know what we are. Maybe we all are stuck in the matrix, according to Kant. Who knows? Maybe we are. Maybe we are jars. Maybe we're Futurama, heads in the jar. So, I don't know. Kant calls these structures of thought categories. And these include the concepts cause, substance, existence, and reality. For example, experience may give us knowledge about the outside world, but nothing within experience itself teaches us that the outside world actually contains, for example, causes and effects. What? For Kant, knowledge of the basic structure of the outside world is a priori knowledge. It is only possible because we are all born with categories that supply us with a framework for experience. We're in the matrix. Part of which is the assumption that there is an external world. However, Kant continues, this a priori framework means that the world as it appears is dependent upon the nature of the human mind and does not represent the world as it really is. In other words, the world as it is in itself. What? You can only exist in the reality that you're able to see and experience, according to Kant. The world as it is in itself is what Kant calls the noumenal world, and he claims that it is unknowable. All that we can know, according to Kant, is the world as it appears to us through the framework of the categories. And this is what Kant calls the phenomenal world, or the world of our everyday experience. Okay. Hegel's critique of Kant. So now Hegel's like, alright, but Hegel believes that Kant made great strides forward in eliminating naivety in philosophy. That's some heavy shit. Like, we're getting down to nitty-gritty of reality here. But his accounts of the world in itself and the categories still betray uncritical assumptions. Hegel argues that Kant fails in at least two respects to be sufficiently thorough in his analysis. Wow. First of all, Hegel regards Kant's notion of the world in itself as an empty abstraction that means nothing. The world in itself, in and of itself? Do you mean of itself? Do you mean a world by itself? Is it a world for itself? Is it a world of itself? A world in itself. Yank, yank. Oh, wow, alright, you just yanked. Kant's a world in it. Okay, for Hegel, what exists is whatever comes to be manifested in consciousness. For example, as something sensed or as something thought. Kant's second failure, Hegel argues, is that he makes too many assumptions about the nature and origin of the categories. There's no matrix! There's no matrix! I'm not stuck in a matrix! Hegel's task is to understand these categories without making any assumptions whatsoever. And that the worst assumption that Hegel sees in Kant concerns the relationships of the categories to each other. Kant assumes that the categories are original and distinct, and that they are totally separate from each other. But for Hegel, they are dialectical, meaning that they are always subject to change. No, there is no, we're not plugged into the matrix. We are the matrix. God damn it, this is difficult. Where Kant believes in an unchanging framework of experience, Hegel believes that the framework of experience itself is subject to change. As much, indeed, as the world that we experience. Consciousness, therefore, and not merely what we are conscious of, is part of an evolving process. This process is dialectical, a concept that has a very specific meaning in Hegel's philosophical thought. Okay. I feel like we're in the Animatrix right now, and it's like between the episode of um, the kid that ran, but he ran so fast that he broke into the Matrix. And he's like, "What the? I'm here, right?" And then there's the other guy that like jumped off a building and was like, "I know that I can't. That if I believe hard, strong enough, that it won't hurt." So there's a guy trying to run fast. If you run fast enough, you can break through the Matrix. Versus if you just jump, the Matrix won't hurt. You can't. Okay. If you're asking me which one Hegel is and which one Kant is, I don't know. I think that's where we're at though. Is how people are dealing with the Matrix right now at this point in time in history. Is you got people trying to run fast enough to break through, and you got people just like trying to like, is it faith? It's faith, right? It's faith. Is it faith? So Hegel's dialectic. Thanks everyone for hanging out here and spending time with me. We're reading through the book, the philosophy book, Big Ideas Simply Explained. Last week we determined that God didn't create no quitters, so we're going to read through this whole damn book, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So we're reading through Hegel and his idea of reality is a historical process. For those who just catching everybody up. Hegel's dialectic. The notion of dialectic is central to what, not Dianetics. I remember, you know the book Dianetics? I saw the book Dianetics as a kid. My mom read, I don't know if she read it, she might have skimmed through it. We're not talking Dianetics. We're not talking L. Ron Hubbard, we're talking dialectic. Okay, we're talking philosophy, not phony. Okay? Okay, dialectic. Dialectic. The notion of dialectic is central to what Hegel calls his immanent, I-M-M-A-N, immanent, not imminent, immanent, internal account of the development of things. He declares that his account will guarantee 4 things. First, that no assumptions are made. 2, that only the broadest notions possible are employed, the better to avoid asserting anything without justification. Third, that it shows how a general notion gives rise to other, more specific notions. Quattro, that this process happens entirely from within the notion itself. This 4th requirement reveals the core of Hegel's logic, namely that every notion or thesis, idea, maybe, thesis, contains within itself a contradiction or an antithesis. Say that 5 times fast. That. Which is only resolved by the emergence of a newer, richer notion called a synthesis from the original notion itself. So I say something, you say potato, oh, we're doing it, and I say potato, eventually we're going to come up with a new word. Mashed potatoes. One consequence of this imminent process is that when we become aware of the synthesis, we realize that we saw as the earlier contradiction in the thesis was only an apparent contradiction. No, it was supposed to be mashed potatoes all along. one that was caused by some limitation in our understanding of the original notion. Oh, okay. So the idea, you can think of it like it's the idea of, no, we're supposed to have thong bikinis, because we're just supposed, I don't know, I don't know why bikini, the word bikini came out of like the Bikini Atolls, and then we wore the bikini in protest of the, I don't know. An example of this logical progression appears at the beginning of Hegel's Science of Logic. Let's just leave it to the philosophers with the philosophy, Brock, okay? Where he introduces the most general and all-inclusive notion of pure being, meaning anything that in any sense could be said to be. Let's read that again. Meaning anything that in any sense could be said to be. He then shows that this concept contains a contradiction. Oh. Namely, that it requires the opposite concept of nothingness, or not being, for it to be fully understood. Is Hegel a German Buddhist? Am I accidentally reading goddamn Buddhism again? Hegel then shows that this contradiction is simply a conflict between two aspects of a single, higher concept, in which they find resolution. Okay, in the case of being and not being, the concept that resolves them is becoming. God, alright, yeah, I could go with that, sure. So instead of like Buddhism going, I don't know, no, Hegel's like, no, it's like a becoming, right? It's like, that's what existence is. He's just reframing existence as a becoming of a be and a... When we say that something becomes, we mean that it moves from a state of not being to a state of being. So, it turns out that the concept of being that we started off with was not really a single concept at all, but merely one aspect of the three-part notion of becoming. Wow, that's good. The vital point here is that the concept of becoming is not introduced from outside, as it were, to resolve the contradiction between being and not being. No, he said I was doing an okay job, so I guess I am doing an okay job. No, it's not like that, no. On the contrary, Hegel's analysis shows that becoming was always the meaning of being and not being. And that all we had to do was analyze these concepts to see their underlying logic. This resolution of a thesis, being, with its antithesis, not being, in a synthesis, becoming, is just the beginning of the dialectical process, which goes on to repeat itself at a higher level. That is, any new synthesis turns out, on further analysis, to involve its own contradiction. And this, in turn, is overcome by a still richer or higher notion. All ideas, according to Hegel, are interconnected in this way. And the process of revealing these connections is what Hegel calls his dialectical method. We're all growing. Good, bad, ugly, pretty, whatever. It's still part of, we're all growing. You're not as you are now, you are becoming. Be. Just be. Like, it's all it'll be different tomorrow. Maybe not tomorrow, but it'll be different. If you want it. Like, you can change the way you see things. In saying that the structures of thought are dialectical, therefore, Hegel means that they are not distinct and irreducible, as Kant maintained, but that they emerge from the broadest, emptiest notions by means of this movement of self-contradiction and resolution. That's why I bring up the bikini. We wouldn't have had the bikini without the nuclear bombs. Look it up. Look up the history of the bikini. It's really, but like we would. That's a massive fashion change for us. But again, we had a massive, global change too once the atomic bomb dropped. So boom, let's hit that bikini, right? Dialectic and the world. The discussion of Hegel's dialectic above uses terms such as emerge, development, and the world. And movement, sorry. On the one hand, these terms reflect something important about the method of philosophy. That it starts without assumptions and from the least controversial point, and allows ever richer and truer concepts to reveal themselves through the process of dialectical unfolding. That's why we're here. That's why we're learning about things. Maybe we're not learning. Maybe we're seeing, like, as I'm reading, you're like, oh, I know all about Hegel. And then you're listening to me, like, read about Hegel, you're like, oh, maybe I didn't know that much about Hegel. Maybe Hegel's a jerk. Maybe I don't know. On the other hand, however, Hegel clearly argues that these developments are not simply interesting facts of logic, but are real developments that can be seen at work in history. For example, a man from ancient Greece and a man living in the modern world will obviously think about different things. But Hegel claims that their very ways of thinking are different and represent different kinds of consciousness, or different stages in the historical development of thought and consciousness. So it's the joke of a caveman finding his way into the modern world, and how's a caveman going to interact with the modern world? How are they going to, they're going to start trying to make fire with a cell phone. Like, oh my God, don't do that, you're going to make my cell phone. And I got, ooh, fire. Hegel's first major work, Phenomenology of Spirit, gives an account of the dialectical development of these forms of consciousness. He starts with the types of consciousness that an individual, human being, might possess, and works up to collective forms of consciousness. He does so in such a way as to show that these types of consciousness are to be found externalized in particular historical periods or events. A Yankee in King Arthur's court. You know all the stories that are referenced, the time-traveling type stories. What would you do if you ended up, in the middle of a tribe of, headhunters? How would you in it? Would you become one? What would you do? I don't know. What? Indeed. Hegel even argues that at certain times in history, spirit's next revolutionary change may manifest itself as an individual. So, like, he's saying that like our entire human consciousness is changing, or at least like within our huge region is changing, and it either happens through like an individual, such as Napoleon Bonaparte, who as an individual consciousness is completely unaware of his or her own role in the history of spirit. And then the progress that these individuals make is always characterized by the freeing aspects of spirit in human form from recurring states of oppression, of overcoming tyrannies that may themselves be the result of the overcoming of previous tyrannies. So we got people striving to continuously change. That's one form of spirit. It's an extraordinary idea that the nature of consciousness has changed through time. Do cavemen believe in the Bible? I don't know. They've never had the Bible. Who knows? If they read the Bible, would they be like, oh, okay, yeah. What would the caveman look? I don't know. That Bible? Moreover, this historical development of consciousness cannot simply have happened at random. Since it is a dialectical process, it must in some sense contain both a particular sense of direction and an end point. Ooh. Hegel calls this endpoint absolute spirit. And by this he means a future stage of consciousness which no longer even belongs to individuals, but which instead belongs to reality as a whole. At this point in its development, knowledge is complete, as it must be, according to Hegel, since spirit encompasses, through dialectical synthesis, both the knower and what is known. Furthermore, spirit grasps this knowledge as nothing other than its own completed essence, the full assimilation of all forms of otherness that were always parts of itself, however unknowingly. So what Hegel is saying is that maybe the Buddhists got it right after all. Who knows? What if you just let them do what they do and then we do what we do? Maybe the Amish have it right after all. Who knows? But if we don't get in their way and they don't get in our way, maybe the atheists have it right after all. Who knows? But man, look at them really struggling. In other words, spirit does not simply come to encompass reality. It comes to be aware of itself as having always been nothing other than the movement towards this encompassing of reality. As Hegel writes in the of spirit, history is a conscious, self-mediating process. It is spirit emptied out into time. One more page to go. Spirit and nature. So our consciousness has gone from caveman logic, which served us well as cavemen, all the way up to, at this point in time, people were allowed to write, and they weren't thrown in jail because they were discovered writing. So at this point in time, anyone could write a book, and look at Hegel writing his own book. So we went from cavemen doing cavemen things, doing cavemen art on walls, and living their cavemen lives, all the way up to they had to evolve and translate and transfer and do everything they can to lead up to now everyone can write a book and not get in trouble, on up to now we all have our own phones. All right. But what about the world in which we live, and which seems to go its way quite separately from human history? Remember, like we're cavemen and we're all doing this, but while we're all doing this, the continent's going all crazy. Like weather systems are. I mean, we're kind of messing up the weather right now. The continents themselves are moving. You know, we've got volcanoes are going. Like I don't know that any human activity, other than maybe fracking, has ever like caught. No, we can frack our way into actual earthquakes now. Ask New York. Ask Oklahoma. We have fracked our way into. We've disturbed part of the Earth's mantle enough that it's like, hey! Alright. But what about the world in which we live, and which seems to go its way quite separately from human history? What does it mean to say that reality itself is historical? According to Hegel, what we ordinarily call nature, or the world, is also spirit. Okay? Nature is to be regarded as a system of stages, he writes, one arising necessarily from the other and being the proximate truth of the stage from which it results. Whatever. He goes on to claim that one of the stages of nature is the progression from that which is only life. Alright, so it's the idea that like there's a conscious nature and a unconscious nature. Okay. Nature as a living whole to that which has existence as spirit, us. The whole of nature now revealed as always having been, when properly understood, spirit. What? So maybe Hegel's saying that like plants have their own logic and they have their own like, so plants have their own stages. We're all just part of the thing. Did Hegel just say that like we're all? I think Hegel just proved that we had evolution before we had Darwin. At this stage of nature, a different dialectic begins, namely that of consciousness itself, of the forms of that absolute spirit takes in its dialectical progression towards self-realization. Hegel is running around talking about evolution before Darwin is running around talking about evolution. Hegel's account of this progression begins with consciousness first thinking of itself as an individual thing among individuals. Some asshole, some white rabbit with black spots is like, hey, I got black spots. Later stages of consciousness, however, are no longer those of individuals, but are those of social or political groups. Yeah, I got the same black spots. Hey, we're the rabbits with black spots on our left paw. We're the rabbits with white spots on our front, back, right. We're the until it reaches the stage of absolute spirit. Spirit and mind. At the time Hegel was writing, there was a dominant philosophical view that there are two kinds of entities in the world. Things that exist in the physical world and thoughts about these things. These latter being something like pictures or images of the things. Hegel argues that all versions of this distinction are mistakes. Nah, you guys messed it all up. Nah, nobody knows what the hell they're talking about. I got this shit on lock. Hold my beer. Hegel argues that all versions of this distinction are mistakes and involve committing ourselves to the ridiculous scenario in which two things are both absolutely different. Things and thoughts. Duh! But also somehow similar, because the thoughts are images of things. Hegel argues that it only seems as though the objects of thought are different from thought itself. It's all the Matrix. For Hegel, the illusion of difference and separation between these two apparent worlds is shown as such when both thought and nature are revealed as aspects of spirit. So Hegel's the kid in the Animatrix trying to run fast enough to break into the Matrix. Okay, we figured that one out. Okay. This illusion is overcome in absolute spirit when we see that there is only one reality, that of spirit, which knows and reflects on itself and is both thought and what is thought about. The whole of spirit, or absolute spirit, is the end point of Hegel's dialectic. However, the preceding stages are not left behind, as it were, but are revealed as insufficiently analyzed aspects of spirit as a whole. No, they're just thoughts about the past. The past doesn't actually exist anymore. Woo! Doesn't that? No, like all the books, like it's just analysis. No, the past doesn't act. There's no more importance to the past than just accepting that it's part of what's leading up to now. Alright. Or how it empties itself out into time. Thus, Hegel writes, the true is the whole, but the whole, W-H-O-L-E, but the whole is nothing other than the essence consummating itself through its development. The snake eating its own tail. Reality is spirit, both thought and what is known by thought, and undergoes a process of historical development. Wow. That's pretty wacky. It's all the Matrix. I think that's all we're learning right now. And please, you know, like, I hope, I don't know. That was deep. We're all learning. Everything is becoming what it is. Because that's what it is to be and is. Right on. Thanks for... Why can't we be friends? This used to be just like I used to just do dumb songs. Hold on. You know I have to do it. Here we go. Yo, we about to set this one right. About to do this for all the kids, the mothers, the fathers, the brothers, the sisters, you know, the regulars. Everything is everything. What is meant to be will be. After winter must come spring. Change, it comes eventually. Everything is everything. Is everything. What is meant to be will be. Understand that everything is everything. After winter must come spring. Change, it comes eventually. Gonna change. I wrote these words for everyone who struggles in their youth. About to do this one for the youth. Who won't accept deception instead of what is truth. Gotta know the truth. It seems we lose the game before we even start to play. This is not our game. Who made these rules? We're so confused. Easily led astray. Let me tell you that everything is everything. And everything is everything. And everything is everything. And after winter must come spring. And everything is everything. Yo, our philosophy possibly speak tongue, speak drum, Abyssian Street Baptist, wrap this in the fine linen from the beginning, my practice extending across the atlas, I begat this, flipping in the ghetto on a dirty mattress, you can't match this, rapper/actress, more powerful than two Cleopatras, bomb graffiti on the tomb of Nefertiti, MCs ain't ready to take it to the Serengeti, my rhymes is heavy like the mind of Sister Betty Shabaza, boogie spars with stars and constellations, then came down for a little conversation, adjacent to the king, fear no human being, roll with cherubims, the Nassau Coliseum, now hear this mixture where hip-hop meets scripture, develop a negative into a positive picture, now everything is everything. Everything, y'all. What is meant to be will be. What is meant to be will be. And after winter must come spring. Spring has to come. Change, it comes eventually. Sometimes it seems we'll touch that dream, but things come slower, not at all. They come slower, know what I mean? And the ones on top won't make it stop. They won't make it stop, so convinced that it might fall. Let's love ourselves, and we can't fall. To make it fail, to make a better situation tomorrow. Our seeds will grow, and all we need is dedication. Let me tell you that everything is everything, and everything is everything. And everything is everything. And after winter must come spring. And everything is everything. And everything is everything. Everything is everything. What is meant to be will be. What is meant to be, we're gonna rise, y'all. After winter must come spring. Change comes eventually. It's a hell of a show. Everything is everything. Change comes eventually. Amen. Don't forget Sponge. If you're still here, check out DetroitMushLab.net. Make sure you get a hold of us. We can get a hold of you. We'll send you off the gift. Thanks for being here. And I love you guys for being here. Let's get on out of here. Yeah? Sorry about that, Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ says that he missed 20 minutes of it all. You missed the song? Thank you, Niffer. Thank you, Cleanie. Thanks, everyone. Nerd. God, I'm glad you're here. Love you guys. It was a long-ass book session there. I kind of like the idea of doing like long-ass book sections like that again. So let's do, everyone. Thank you guys for paying attention and being here for me. Thanks, everyone. Hugs, have a great day from Lord Divine. That reminds me. Let's do the lore, yeah? Alright, everyone. Sponge, what I mean by doing the lore, it's its own Olympic event, okay? I'm going to show you how to get a perfect 10 at doing the lore, okay? There's a form to it, and then it's like a free form. It's like swimming, but you're not drowning. Right? You're not struggling to not drown. I almost think that, like, what's the most dangerous Olympic event out there? Is it the shooting? I don't know. Is it the shooting? Because the winner of the women's skeet shooting probably shouldn't be the winner. I don't know. They probably should have at least had one more round. Because, like, one of the ducks or skeets or whatever they call them, do skeet, skeet, skeet. I'm not doing the song. I'm not doing from the window to the, I'm not doing it. But the tape was holding the skeet together. I don't know why I'm looking off to the sky like I'm looking at the skeet. But, like, it's like, skeet, skeet. All right, cool. The Olympics, man. The pole vaulter. The French pole vaulter. I'm just saying, like, these are sexy-ass Olympics, okay? This is a hot Olympics. From the opening to the pole vault to the skeet. You know, I'm just saying, like, we got another week of this stuff going on. So, anyhow, let's get a 10. Let's learn how to get a 10 in doing the Laura. Okay? First, is you take your left arm, or your right. I take my left, because I'm American and not Australian, okay? I love you, Jesus Christ. I'm sorry you missed 20 minutes of this, and I gotta ride your ass real quick. This is what happens when you miss 20 minutes of the show. It's a different show, folks. Alright, we won the swimming medal count in the Olympics versus the Australians, so ha, you obviously suck. Alright, so I'm just putting it out there. Alright, the Laura. You take your left arm and you put it like so, right underneath the Bucky. Imagine you got a Bucky shirt. I think, Herbie Buck. I am decked out in almost entirely clothing bought for me by you guys. If I was wearing underwear, then I would. I mean, you know what I'm saying. I don't have Bucky underwear on. I'm just beaver butt vanilla beaver butt left arm underneath the Bucky, and you kind of want to put your arm, like your hand right there, and you know, like I can't do the grabby arm, the handy thing, but if you can, it's the hands. All right, so it's awkward thing. It's a hands thing. So, but if you grab your side, and so you just kind of grab your side a little bit, and you apply a little pressure like that, and then you take your other arm and you just kind of put it on like your elbow, right? Or if you're feeling a little like spry, you put it inside your arm, right? And then, oh man, that sucks. All right, so you put it inside. No, just, you know what? Grab the arm. All right, grab the arm. We're not Canadian. All right, we're not trying to get the Canadian scores here. We're going for American scores. All right. So we got our arms here, and we got like that hand is grasping onto the arm, and then you got the arm there, you got the hand there, right? And then what we do is we imagine that there's someone in between, right? And they're also, and then what you get that, you gotta get that sigh, you know, you do that deep breath, and you're like, oh man, this is happy. Why am I happy all of a sudden? And then, like, as soon as you get that euphoric look on your face, it's like, now you have finally given yourself a hug. And now that you have a hug, you're like, oh, I have a hug! And then the judges are like, oh yeah, he has a hug! And then because you have a hug, you can now give your hug to yourself. You're giving a hug to yourself. And because you have a hug now. And so the judges are like, you're becoming a hug! See what I did there? It's all part of everything. Everything is everything. Why can't we be friends? Why can't we? It's all... I gotta get out of here before the Matrix recognizes what the hell I'm doing to it. I love you guys. That was a hug. That was called Sponge. That doing the Laura, it's called giving yourself a hug. Because then, if you give a hug, you get a hug. It's gonna happen.